Should Palestine be owned or shared? As we all probably know, there is currently a war in Israel as a result of the ongoing conflict between the Palestinians and the Israelis regarding ownership of the land and other related topics. And like I said, this thing's been going on for decades and there doesn't really seem to be a solution coming soon. So the question is, will there ever be peace in the pursuit for one side fully owning the land and the other side not really getting anything? Or could there be peace another way? Could there be peace in actually seeing the land as owned by both the Jews and the Palestinians, and in fact, anyone else who decides to live there? The reason why I'm kind of suggesting this is because the Bible actually tells us that God's intention for Israel, at least the Israel of today, is for it to kind of be a home for everybody to worship him. It's not for one particular race to just kind of dominate it. And let me first of all establish the fact that the reinstitution of Israel as a nation in 1948 was actually in fulfillment of prophecy. It wasn't just a random thing or because, I don't know, the Israeli soldiers just knew how to fight very well. No, it was actually fulfilling the prophecy that we see in Acts chapter 1 verses 6 and 7. The disciples had asked Jesus, "Lord, will thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel?" And Jesus had replied by saying, "It is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father hath put in his own power." But he certainly did not deny the fact that a time would come when God would return the Jews to their own land. You find prophecies about that all over the scriptures, even Luke chapter 21, verses 23 and 24, where Jesus had spoke about how at the end of the Gentile times, then everything would return in a form to how it was before. So the reinstitution of Israel as a nation is indeed a fulfillment of prophecy. And God's idea was that the land would be peacefully shared by everybody. If you go to Isaiah chapter 56, verses 6 and 7, you see God Almighty saying through Isaiah the prophet, "Also the sons of the stranger that join themselves to the Lord, to serve him, and to love the name of the Lord, to be his servants, every one that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it, and taketh hold of my covenant, even them will I bring to my holy mountain, and make them joyful in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and sacrifices shall be accepted upon mine altar, for mine house shall be called an house of prayer for all peoples." So this text doesn't really suggest that there would be a lot of conflict. That is, God would be on one side of the conflict, making sure that all the other enemies are defeated and, so on. No, it's more that the land would be shared and everybody would kind of come back and see this as, okay, God has returned to bring peace to Israel and by extension to the whole world. And I should also point out that the way God dealt with the Jews in the past is a little bit different from how they are now. And what I mean is, back then, God had only revealed himself to the Jews. If you read Amos chapter 3, verse 2, you see he said, "Ye only have I known of all the families of the earth." Right? So there was that special privilege that the Israelites and the Jews had to be able to know God at a very close level. So at that time, no other people had that privilege. But since the coming of Christ, it was now open to the whole world. If you read Matthew chapter 24, verse 14, you see Jesus Christ saying that the gospel of the kingdom would be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. Because God is interested in all people being brought to him. Not only a small little section, but all of humanity. If you read Isaiah chapter 43, verse 21, "This people have I formed for myself. They shall shew forth my praise." And in addition to that, if you go to Isaiah chapter 45, verse 22, Isaiah the prophet said that God is asking for all people to look to him because all people are his creation. Everyone, all over the world. If you read Acts chapter 17, verses 24 to 28, and many other passages all over the scriptures. And I'd also like to add or reference what Isaiah the prophet had said in Isaiah chapter 19, verses 24 to 25, because it discussed how all people would be united to be one cohesive whole, like a knit church where everybody would be worshiping God together. He said, In that day shall Israel be the third with Egypt and with Assyria, even a blessing in the midst of the land, whom the Lord of hosts shall bless, saying, Blessed be Egypt my people, and Assyria the work of my hands, and Israel my inheritance. So this idea that God would bring all people together is what is being sold in these prophecies. And then in Psalm 133 verse 1 makes the idea even stronger. The psalmist said, Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. That idea of wanting to dominate one another, compete with one another, kill one another, he wants to remove that so that everybody would live together in peace and harmony. That's where he wants to take the whole world to. If you read Psalm 46 verse 9 and Isaiah chapter 2 verse 4, the Psalm account said that God will make wars to cease onto the ends of the earth. And in Matthew chapter 20 verses 25 to 28, Jesus Christ had further explained this rather unique philosophy of leadership, that the greater you are, the more privileged you are, the more you serve others. He said, Ye know that the princes of the Gentiles exercise dominion over them, and they that are great exercise authority upon them. But it shall not be so among you. But whosoever will be great among you, let him be your minister. And whosoever will be chief among you, let him be your servant. Even as the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister and to give his life a ransom for many. Thus, if we want there to be peace in Israel, it's not by saying that the Palestinians own the whole land or the Israelis own the whole land, so you need to get rid of the quote-unquote enemies, so that peace can prevail. No, that just brings more hostility. Rather, it's by trying to bring everybody together and make the land an open place that's shared, that will actually bring peace to the Israelis, the Palestinians, and by extension to everyone else in the world. And I think that's where I'll stop on answering that question. Should Palestine be owned or shared? If you like my analysis, then I'd appreciate it if you click the like button and also the subscribe button. And if you want to be notified when I come back with another video just like this, then you can click the notification bell. Have a good day, and I'd like to see you in the next video.